Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Erongo Talk. My name is Leandria Lowe and today we join you from a very cold and misty Walfish Bay, specifically here from the Walfish Bay Library. Now as usual I bring you the latest news, the weather and tides, and then for our interview, Namibia Media Holdings hosted its annual media camp this past weekend. Now we are going to chat to Octavia Tsibes, who is the head of MyZone, and she's going to tell us a bit about the occasion. We're also going to chat to a few learners to tell us about their experience. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. And now it is time for your news. Now, a section of the ShopRite complex in Swakopmund's Central Business District burned down in the early morning hours of Wednesday. Now, according to Erongo Police Unit Commander for Community Affairs Inspector Eleni Shapumba, a security guard at the complex during his night patrol noticed that an alarm had gone off and he rushed over to inspect. Now, when he arrived at Foshini, he observed that all the shop lights were on and there was smoke present inside the shop coming from the roof. Now the security guard immediately called the G4S control room, who then notified emergency services, which included the police and the fire brigade. Now the cost of the damage and what caused the fire is still currently under investigation and still needs to be established. Now moving on, Kratz Engineering, a subsidiary of the Octavia and List Group, that's the O&L Group, announced its acquisition of CNV Welding Pty Limited effective 1 March 2021. Now the latter will operate as Kratz Engineering CNV Welding, adding its steel construction services to the former's engineering services for the industrial, maritime, oil and gas and mining industries. Now the acquisition will produce an expanded network of engineering and construction services between the two companies. But you can head on over to our website, that's at www.erongo.com.na, to see exactly how this relationship will be beneficial to both companies. Now, Rossing Uranium partnered with the Randas Town Council to clean the outskirts of Randas townlands and the area of the access road to the mine in celebration of World Environment Day under the theme Ecosystem Restoration on 5 June 2021. Now, the uranium mining giant said via a statement that this day serves as a reminder to all that our world is fragile, that we need to do better collectively. Now, it is a steady reminder that Earth is all we got, so it is up to us to take care of the environment. Now, ecosystems support all life on Earth. Now, the healthier our ecosystems are, the healthier the planet and the healthier its people. Now, finally, 15 learners from schools in Walfish Bay, Swakopmund and Karibab joined others from the rest of the country for the annual MyZone Media Camp last weekend. Now, despite the very freezing temperatures, spirits were high as the youngsters who represented their respective MyZone editorial teams learned the basics of journalism, newspaper design, multimedia, photojournalism and video production. Now, MyZone is the youth brand of Namibia Media Holdings, and the brand began as the NMH School newspaper project, which gave high schools learners in an opportunity in the Komas in the Erongo regions, the opportunity to print their own school newspaper. Now, this brand has expanded to reach as far as Ongwediva in the north, as well as Keetmanshoop in the south. Now, our interview is also going to be with Octavia Tsibes, who is the head of MyZone, and a few learners is going to tell us about the experience at the annual media camp. So please head on over to our website, that's at www.erongo.com.na, that's www.erongo.com.na, to read all the latest news of what's happening right here in the Erongo region.
So we start off with some girl power here. I have two of the editors from the Erongo region for the My Zone School Newspaper Project. This is the editor for the Dana School Newspaper, and this is the editor for Swakopmund Secondary School's newspaper. So, the Dana, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jewel Bampton.
Okay, and Triple S?
My name is Megan Kwais. Hi, guys.
So, you two recently attended the media camp, and you learned a lot of things. Jewel, what is the one thing, if you had to take one thing out of media camp, what's the one thing you're taking ahead?
Like, to go.
One lesson that you learned.
Oh, that you have to go over your expectations, like over your limit. Always try to do your best.
Yeah.
And yes.
And Megan, for you?
For me, it was to always be on time, hand in your articles on time, be very punctual. The most big thing that I learned was group work, because there was a lot of activities that bonded us as group.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what lessons do you think you can take forward from media camp to share and implement in your school newspaper?
As the outgoing editor, I would want the new editor to really not disappoint NMH and My Zone. So what I would teach them is basically to always have perfect work and always to involve our coordinator, and as well as to prepare ahead of time and not only just come prepare the last moments, because that's the main lesson that we took from here.
Yes. And for you, Joe?
It's actually the same because if I go home, my fellow members, I'm going to go tell them what I learned today here. So just to also give them the experience I had here, although they weren't here.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I'm going to put you two on the spot. We've had discussions at Media Camp this week about you guys making a change and using this platform to make a change in your school and in your communities. Jewel, is there one topic that you would like to tackle through your school newspaper as a platform?
Oh,
What do you think the youth is struggling with that you'd like to speak on, that you'd like to make a change in?
accepting one another as they are. So probably just to accept people and just accept the fact that you can't change people if like that.
And do you have any ideas on how you can use your school newspaper to get that message across?
Like maybe I'll take a lot of children in voices, so that has that problem about people not accepting them who they are.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Jewel. And then Megan, for you, what would you like to speak on in your school newspaper and use it as a platform for?
Current affairs that regard the youth, because we are youth, and we would want to live in a very modern era and not in an old era. So what I would focus on is building up on those current affairs that are happening right now. If there's something wrong, speak on it. If it's us that are going through something and the adults or the old elders don't see it, then we would speak up on it.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. That is our girl power from the Erongo region. So joining me here is Octavia Tsibes. She's the head of My Zone Namibia. Hi Octavia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Irene?
I'm doing well. So Octavia, we are standing here. The media camp has just concluded. How do you feel now that it's all over and done with?
Well, personally, I am glad that the weekend is over. I mean, now we can all rest because so much work went into it. But it's also sad at the same time because all these wonderful kids that you bonded with are now going. And you know, it's always sad to let another group go because each year you meet a different group. So it's just now like, okay, now they're going. So I'm also kind of sad at the same time.
And Octavia, obviously this is in the time of COVID and we had, as the viewers can probably see by our attire, quite a chilly weekend. What were some of your biggest challenges in making the media camp happen?
All right, you know, like when it comes to COVID and having learners, already these kids know that there are COVID protocols in place from wherever they're coming from, schools. So we didn't have a challenge actually executing and telling them to actually observe them. But in terms of the parents and allowing most of the kids to come, that was actually a challenge. You know, most of the parents were scared. But we made the most of it, especially in the midst of COVID. Yeah.
And then, why is it so important to My Zone and Namibia Media Holdings, in spite of the challenges that you face, to make sure that the media camp happens?
You know, when we look at the school newspaper project, it's a big deal for Namibia Media Holdings because it's a channel that we use to actually empower young people to use their voice to share their story. So if we don't do it and if companies don't inspire youth to actually come together and share their stories and come up with ideas how they can transform their communities, then I don't think we're grooming young people, but it's very important for NMH to continue doing such things because there's so much that we're getting out of these young people, especially for media company that's printing. They have a great impact on it, and this is 60% of the population is young people. So why not have a platform for them to come and engage like this?
Of course, and then Octavia, these kids have touched base on photography, writing, videography, digital media throughout the weekend. What are you hoping to see going forward from this group?
All right, last night we had a prize giving and they shared the videos that they of course made, the concepts that they came up with, the angles that they used. I really want to see these young people, of course they have good writing skill, but for them just to share video content with us, take it to the next level because that's where we're moving to. So I really want to see them coming up with great concepts and be creative when it comes to video.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time, Octavia. That was Octavia Tsibes, the head of MISA.
The Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair 2021 brings you exhibition excellence and will be taking place from 26 to 31 August at the Ongwediva Trade Fair Showgrounds. The theme this year is Gearing for a Smart Economy. This year, exhibitors have the option to showcase their products and services at the Ongwediva Trade Fair Showgrounds or virtually via special trade fair website. Apply for a stand at www.oatf.com.na. Call 065 230 191. Email info@oatf.com.na. The Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair 2021 is proudly sponsored by MTC, FNB, Nedbank, Ongwediva Town Council.
Here are some tips for your upcoming tests and exams. Don't eat sugar while studying or before the test. That causes you to forget some information. Eat brain foods such as avocados, nuts, and dark chocolate to promote healthy brain function. Don't study a day before exam. The day before exam is for revision. Study at least 2 days or a week in advance. Remember, hard work pays off in the end.
And now it's time for your weather and tides for all the major towns here in the Erongo region. unfortunately, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk, but you can head on over to our website. That's at www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na for all the latest news that's happening right here in the Erongo region. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram, and you can get in contact with us at 0811 7040. That's 0811 7040 on both WhatsApp and Telegram, where you can let us know what's happening in your town. Send us some news tips, send us some videos. That is also your go-to number if you want to advertise with us. That's 0811 7040. That's 0811 7040. Now, since we find ourselves in winter, it's important that you take care of ourselves because we're battling with a pandemic. So please take care of yourself. Please wear your mask when you are in a crowded area or when you are in public space, wherever. Please wear your mask, keep your social distance, sanitize your hands, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.